Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. Bill Ford Jr. calls for transparency in how the government's involved with GM and Chrysler. Bo Andersson heads to the wonderful world of Gaz. And Mahindra goes shopping for Chrysler dealerships. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Tuesday, June 16, 2009, and now the news. At the National Summit in Detroit yesterday, Bill Ford Jr. called for more transparency in how the U.S. government is involved in running General Motors and Chrysler. The Detroit News quoted Bill Ford as saying, "There are issues that we just don't have answers to yet in terms of government ownership in our industry and what that's going to mean." To which I say, amen, Brother Bill. We need a lot more sunshine on this whole process. We reported yesterday that Bo Andersson, GM's Executive Vice President of Worldwide Purchasing, left the company immediately last Friday to pursue other interests. Well, we now know what those other interests are. Andersson was named chairman of Gaz yesterday, the Russian automaker that's bidding with Sberbank to buy Opel. General Motors already has a billion-dollar joint venture with Gaz, and it sold its stake in VM Motori, the Italian diesel engine company, to Gaz. Even so, the word in the industry is that GM is not happy that Andersson is going to Gaz. The company named Bob Sosha, who ran Shanghai General Motors, to run its purchasing operations. GM and Chrysler's decision to shut down a large number of its dealers has opened up the door for foreign nameplates to get access to the U.S. market. According to the Detroit Free Press, Indian automaker Mahindra will begin selling its trucks at 2 former Chrysler dealerships in the Detroit area. Mahindra is targeting 45,000 sales of diesel pickups. Pricing starts at an eye-popping $13,000. Last week, when we reported on Chrysler's new structure for its brand managers, we noted that Peter FONG, who's going to run the Chrysler brand, was so new to the company they didn't even have a picture of him available. Well, now they do. FONG came from Ford last year, where he was in regional sales and marketing for Lincoln Mercury, mostly on the East Coast. That's a big jump to now be CEO of the Chrysler brand. This guy's rocketing up the corporate ladder, and that means he is worth watching. According to a projection by research firm IHS Global Insight, Chrysler will build the upcoming Alfa Romeo 169 sports sedan at its plant in Canada. The Financial Post reports that the Alfa 169 will be built on the same platform as the Chrysler 300, starting in 2011, and it estimates production at only 10,000 units annually. In an effort to boost declining interest in NASCAR, manufacturers may be allowed to modify the appearance of the car of tomorrow. According to Fox Sports, manufacturers have until June 26 to submit a design for approval. So far, only Ford and Dodge are interested. Only the styling will change. The rest of the car is expected to maintain the integrity of the COT. If the car of tomorrow heads to the Nationwide Series, that's where the new designs would be tested first instead of the Sprint Cup Series. Hey, maybe we're going to see Mustangs and Challengers racing around the oval sometime soon. And speaking of racing, coming up next, a look at the flywheel hybrid technology Williams is developing for Formula One.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
This season, Formula One is allowing cars to be fitted with a kinetic energy recovery system, or KERS for short, that collects energy that would otherwise be lost under braking. Teams are allowed to use either a battery or flywheel to help recover the energy, and drivers have a boost button allowing them to deploy about a 10% increase in power every lap. Even though they've yet to use it in a race, Williams is one of the teams to try the FLYBRID route. Here's Ian Foley, the man in charge of the team's FLYBRID operations, explaining the patented system.
The technology itself is derived from the high-speed centrifuge technology, which is used to process nuclear fuel. The system has a high-speed flywheel, which has an integrated electric motor. The gearbox on the car also has an electric motor. Under braking, the electric motor on the gearbox works as a generator, and that speeds up the flywheel and stores energy. Then under acceleration, the flywheel has energy taken from it by its electric motor, and that's passed to the electric motor on the gearbox to assist in acceleration. This particular system is unique. The flywheel is wholly composite, and this means that we can spin faster than other competitive flywheels, and also the overall weight of the system is lower, which gives the best compromise of power per unit weight.
Not only is Williams' flywheel system smaller and lighter, it's highly efficient, meaning it's easier to keep its temperature down, and it can be continuously used with no drop-off in performance or reduction in life. And because the flywheel can be produced cost-effectively in volume, Williams plans to make it available outside Formula One after further testing in the series. But like we said, they haven't used it in a race yet, so how good can it really be? Hey, tune in Thursday night for Autoline After Hours. Joining me and Jason Vines and Peter Del Lorenzo will be Mark LaNave, who's in charge of all sales and marketing at General Motors, and we really want to talk to him about all these dealer closings. This is going to be a good discussion. And that's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Visit our website for even more great content all week long. Autoline Extra, Dawn's Journal, podcasts, and even more. So click over and get the inside view at AutolineDetroit.tv.